Good day everyone. I am Alea May Sanchez from BS Ed Major in Filipino. Today I will discuss the Assure model. First, let's identify what is Assure model. It says here in first bullet is a guide in crafting an instructional flow that can guide the teacher in integrating appropriate technology and media into the instructional process. This means that the model serves as the step-by-step guide that helps teachers organize their lesson smoothly. It shows teachers when and how to use technology and media, such as videos, presentations, or digital tools, so that these materials effectively support learning instead of distracting from it. In simple terms, it helps teachers plan what to teach, how to teach, and what teach or media to use at each stage of the lesson. Second bullet, it also refers to a systematic approach that the teacher can use when writing an instructional plan. This means that the model provides a structured and organized method for creating lesson plans. Instead of planning randomly, the teacher follows a clear sequence of steps, making sure every part of the lesson, objectives, activities, materials, and evaluations is well planned. This systematic approach ensures that the lesson becomes effective, organized, and aligned with learning goals. So now, let's move on to the Assure model. This is the Assure model. A stands for Analyze Learner Characteristics. S stands for State Objectives. And another S, Select, Modify, or Design Materials. For the letter U, Utilize Materials. And for the letter R, Require Learner Response. And for the last, the letter E, stands for Evaluation. So now, let's discuss each acronym of Assure model. Let's know each purpose of each acronym. First steps is Analyze Learners. It says in first bullet, learner as the center of the instructional process. To begin with, it is important to recognize that the learner should always be at the heart of the teaching process. This means that every decision made, whether in methods, materials, or assessments, must be based on what will best support the student's learning. Second bullet, learner's learning style. It is important to understand the student's learning styles, whether they are visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or reading-writing learners. Helps the teacher design strategies that match how learners process information most effectively. Third bullet, age level. In addition, identifying the age level of learners allows the teachers to adjust the lesson's difficulty, examples, and activities. Younger learners need simpler tasks, while older students can handle more complex concepts. Fourth bullet, interest or preferences. It's important considering the learner's interests helps make lesson more engaging and relatable. When students connect personally with the topic, they become more motivated to participate. Fifth bullet, special needs. At the same time, teacher must account for learners with special needs by providing accommodations or adjustments. This ensures that all students can access the learning experience fairly. Last bullet, cultural diversity. Finally, recognizing Cultural diversity means being respectful of differences in beliefs, language, and backgrounds. This awareness helps create an inclusive and supportive learning environment. We all know that this is very important. Teacher must know that students have different religious and they have different beliefs. Next is state objectives. First bullet, write clear and measurable learning objectives. To move forward, teachers must create objectives that specify exactly what learners should achieve. Clear and measurable objectives guide both teaching and assessment. We need to make sure that our assessments is achievable by your students. Second bullet, use the ABCD format: the audience, the behavior, the condition, and degree. Using the ABCD format helps ensure completeness. It identifies who will learn: audience, what they will do; behavior, under what situation, condition, and how well they should perform; degree. Third bullet, specify what learners should know, perform, or produce after the lesson. Therefore, objectives should clearly state the expected knowledge, skills, or outputs students must demonstrate at the end of the lesson. Third steps, select methods, media, and materials. First bullet, choose appropriate teaching methods. Teachers must select the most suitable strategies such as lectures, group discussions, demonstrations, or collaborative work, depending on the learners and objectives. Second bullet, identify the media to be used. In connection with this, the teacher must determine which media, PowerPoint presentation, videos, images, or audio clips will enhance the understanding of your students or your learners. Last bullet, prepare the materials. Preparing handouts, worksheets, and digital tools ahead of the time ensures that everything is ready for smooth lesson delivery. Fourth steps, utilize technology, media, and materials. First bullet, review and check all media or tools. Before implementing the lesson, teacher must first check if all equipment and materials function properly to avoid technical issues during class. Second bullet, plan how each material will be used step by step. After that, teachers must have a clear plan for when and how each material will be used so that the lesson flows in an organized manner like we do in our demonstration. Third bullet, make sure the media supports learning and is appropriate. Most importantly, every tool or media should directly support the learning outcomes and be suitable for the learner's level and needs. Fifth steps, require learner participation. First bullet, provide activities that promote active engagement. Teachers need to design tasks that make students actively involved rather than passive learners. Because nowadays, we promote or we do the student learning centered. We make our lesson to be more engaging by using different types of media tools. Second bullet, encourage interaction. Promoting interaction, whether between students and content, among classmates, or between teacher and students, help deepen understanding. Last bullet, use tasks such as discussion, Q&A, and performance tasks. These activities allow students to apply what they learned and practice their skills in meaningful ways. 6 steps or the last steps. Evaluate and revise. First bullet says, assess students' learning. To conclude, evaluation through quizzes, outputs, or performance tasks shows whether learners have met the objectives. Second bullet, evaluate the effectiveness of your methods and materials. Additionally, teachers must reflect on whether the strategies used were effective or need to improve. Third bullet, revise and improve the lesson plan. Finally, based on feedback and results, the teacher revises the lesson to ensure better learning outcomes in future classes. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.